Hello YouTube. I call this upside down looking machine Flipped Out, and I built it while experimenting with single player enemies in Robocraft. The single player AI enemies differ from multiplayer opponents in that none of them fly or hover, they all use laser SMGs, and they don't fire nearly as often as they could. This all makes it easy to get close to them to cause maximum damage, and to hover above them. The AI bots also used to be in the same class as the robot you were using, which made it an advantage to use a small, well-armed machine, but that doesn't seem to be true anymore. In any case, I noticed a couple things that you might find interesting. I noticed that with taller hover designs, you get a lot more stability by placing the hover blades high on the machine. It might seem obvious that you'd want your lift on top, like on a helicopter, but I was under the impression that hover blades auto-stabilize anyway, and I'm used to seeing sci-fi hovercrafts with a lift on the bottom, so I was surprised at this find. Something else I noticed is that putting the guns on the bottom of a hovering machine has its advantages, especially for short-range guns. With the guns on top, I found myself unable to hit ground targets when I got too close. But with the guns on the bottom, you can hit and run while flying overhead, and you can still shoot upward at 28 degrees in case a target climbs a hill. The drawback is that you can't aim at high-flying aircraft. But with short-range guns like the small laser SMGs, you usually wouldn't be able to do much damage to them anyway. I realized that if I built a machine based on these observations, it would look like it's flying upside down. So I deliberately built a machine based on the upside down look. I made it smooth with a striped color scheme on the underside that looks like the top, and rough with lots of gray on the reverse. And since I know you guys enjoy challenging gameplay, I made it a very small design and used it to compete in the pit. I got a victory in a desert level and one in a frozen level for this video. I also put this machine in the robot shop under the name Flipped Out. You might not want to buy any machines since resources are so scarce with the new loot system, but I'm just letting you know it's there if you want it. On the bright side, if you already have the parts to build the machine, you can buy it free with the inventory cost option that was added to the robot shop. Robocraft went through a lot of changes recently, some better than others. As I mentioned, the option to build robot shop machines with your own parts is a welcome new feature. They've also tweaked the matchmaking system, and although it's always been questionable, I think they made it worse. They've gotten rid of robot rank and now only go by each robot's CPU usage. As a result, I've been noticing higher level weapons like the lock-on missile launcher and the plasma Goliathon consistently dominating matches. They've added player skill to matchmaking, and I'm not sure if that's based on player levels or win records, but I always seem to be lumped in with much more powerful robots. This seems to hold even when I use medium-sized machines, but especially when I use my mini machines. I like a challenge, but it's frustrating to be as outclassed as I usually am. I think the matchmaking algorithm would be more fair if it were weighted in favor of robot size, even if that puts me up against newer players when I use smaller machines. On another positive note, something else I like is that if you use smaller guns, the game now lets you have more of them that fire together. So there are at least some benefits to using more small guns instead of fewer big guns. While not everyone likes this, I think it adds more dimension to the game than simply having the big guns be better versions of the small guns. Finally, there's the very unpopular update to the loot system. Instead of getting money at the end of a match, you get a crate with one randomly selected item for a deathmatch, 3 for a pit battle, or 4 for a battle arena. Depending on your position on the leaderboard, you get one of 5 levels of crate: rusted, bronze, silver, gold, diamond, or protonium. The higher crates give you better odds at higher level items. A premium membership doubles the number of items you get, but even if you don't have premium, it still shows you the items you could have won, which seems to be trying to grieve you into buying a premium membership. Initially, the crates gave so few high-level items that it was nearly impossible to progress. Even with the protonium crate, you had slot machine odds of getting any high-level item. So getting a complete set of high-level items, like a matching set of Mega Wheels or Mega SMGs, was never going to happen. To give you an idea of how bad it was, I'll link to an unboxing of 300 crates, each with 8 items. Out of the 2,400 items that were opened, only 7 of them were legendary level. he didn't get any of most of the top level items. Now they've increased the odds of getting high level items for a second time, so I'll reserve judgment for now. To get money to buy the items you want, you have to recycle the parts you win for money, and the recycle rate is still brutal. It varies by item, but for mid-level items, it's only about a fourth or a fifth of the purchase price. In general, a slot machine is a bad way to do game progression no matter how the odds are set up. You might get the most powerful weapon right away, which would be a total anticlimax. Or you might drudge all the way to level 100 without ever getting it. So why would they convert to such a system? It has to do with the new purchasing scheme. You can't buy in-game currency with real money anymore, you have to buy crates. Remember the 300 crate unboxing I mentioned earlier? You can buy various numbers of crates for real money, and a set of 300 crates costs $100. Yes, $100. I'm not even joking. That's like 2 Grand Theft Auto 5s just for stuff to put in this game. Plus, although they improved the odds, I suspect that you could still go through 300 crates without getting the item or matching set of items you want. Ultimately, FreeJam switching to the loot crate system was transparently motivated by money rather than quality gaming. And that's why I don't think this system will ever be fully accepted no matter what they do with it. That's all I have to say about the game so far. So I'll show you what I won in this battle, and move on to the battle in the Frozen level.
You are in the pit. Get ready for battle. You are the leader. Rampant. Dominating. You are the leader. Unstoppable. The leader has killed you. New leader.
Once again, Flipped Out emerges victorious. I'm not sure why I waited to respawn here, but I'll show you the Protonium crate in a moment. Incidentally, the rotor blade I won here has a recycle value of about 800, which is about the same as everything else I won in these two matches put together. I'll end this video with a bonus upside down machine, Flipped Out 2. You might recognize it as a replica of one of the default robots you get at the beginning of the game. It has hover blades completely hidden to make it float upside down, so it looks like the game glitched. It's really hard to use though. The weight distribution makes it really wobbly, and sometimes it needs to be reset to regain stability. Plus, its guns aren't positioned very well for upside down use. And strangely, even if you flip upside down onto the wheels still don't work. So they add a bunch of CPU and put you against bigger robots without benefiting you in the match. But I mostly just did this for a visual gag anyway.
Legendary.
I only got second place in this match, but at least I got a legendary kill streak. So that's pretty much all I have for now. I hope you enjoyed my upside down robots and my thoughts on Robocraft.
Killed the leader. Legendary. The leader has killed you.